I'm available on an emergency basis too, by the way.
Here's one of my horrible cards. Okay, it's starting to look like it did before. My friend's like, "What did you do to your house?" I said, "Well, we had to have a set."
Wait, there's a set. Thank you.
Just got my new. Okay, let's.
Oh, you gave me two.
Oh yeah, give one to your talkative friend. Maybe maybe he wants to come over. Okay, let's open the mini cams up.
Ken Kretzer is actually.
Yeah, I like people. I was working with Armstrong and Getty, and I found out how much they hate people. It just amazed me. Okay, this is working now. Where the hell was that big thing? Big thing I just had.
Yeah, I was starting to say, where's the door?
Okay, there it is. So what I do for this one is I just make it real small. And so when the show's on, I'm like, so what do you think, Joanne? Oh, really? So you're a real smarty. Thank you, Joanne. Good to have you on the show. And then I found this program. They're all like $1,000. I just went crazy. I spent $5. I spent $43 for it, and it was free. And then I upgraded it because I said I don't really need to upgrade it, but this works so good. Let me give them the upgrade. So I did that. Now let's. This is weird. This is how I get the show on every day. I come over here and I copy this link.
That's the show link.
Okay, and then then I go to.
Who you give that to, by the way. That's like the key thing.
The embedded thing doesn't work. I was trying to embed it on my website. It doesn't work. Remember I said I could do it in Share too, but I don't know exactly how.
I could probably, when I have a little more time, show you how to do that on your website. But I know.
Oh, okay. So I go to this, which this is like it takes 5 minutes, but until I can get the time, it's like the first mics I bought. Everyone's telling me get the cons. And then they had this thing, and he says this is 500 and this is 80, and I couldn't hear the difference. And then he went to another one. This is 40. You could hear the difference.
Frequency responsive.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I got to get this one, and so then I go
The voice is what 4,000 to 20,000 hertz, or that's the hearing range.
I was like, my whole thing is like, you know what? Let's start the show out. Sorry, temporarily won't be able to send mail. Do it a few minutes. Okay, let's do it again. There we go. It's
Yeah, well, okay.
Then I turn off my AOL here. Oh man, so many questions. Go away. AOL is gone there. Now I come to over here, and I go to my AOL, and I open it. I was talking to some.
You know where everything is. I was looking at all this.
Welcome. You've got mail.
I was talking to this lady. She was in my computer trying to fix something, and she was like, "You get a lot of emails." I said, "Less than." I was getting 300 emails on Armstrong and Getty every day because one of the smartest things I ever did was not use the Clear Channel email system. Oh, where's my thing? It disappeared.
Oh, the mouse?
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
No. And because the second they fired me, they took away, as I was walking from you're fired to the place where my desk is, they cleared out my computer. And so when I said I have an email of the program director forcing me to work for free. And my lawyer said, I said, yeah, but he sent it to AOL because I only used Abrasha. He said, if that was on Clear Channel, I would have said, no, he told me I have to work for free, which is illegal in California. And he's like, well, where do you have it? I go, I got it on an email.
You could raise a pretty big stink in lawsuit if you wanted to.
Dude, I do, because $100,000 would last me, what, 3 years?
Not even that.
But I'm never going to work in radio because Clear Channel owns all the talk stations in America. So I'm not going to work in it again. So what do I want to do? Do I want to get a different profession? And I worked all my life to get on a hit show. I finally get one.
You need to talk to my roommate. He's got some really good ideas. You have content from what I can see.
Oh, it's just, he's like, well, where do you have it? I go, I got it on an email. Put this on. Dude, I do, because $100,000 would last me, what, 3 years? But I'm never going to work in radio because Clear Channel owns all the talk stations in America. So I'm not going to work in it again. So what do I want to do? Do I want to get a different profession? And I turned it off, and I leave this because AOL you can't do hardly anything with AOL, and then I go to my Chrome, which is right here, and I go to my Chrome. Come on. I don't know why it says that. What's a proxy server?
Proxy service is it's a connection that you set up from your point. It's a secure connection that you set up.
Why is it unable to connect?
Proxy server. I don't know.
Okay, maybe I'll use this one. No, I don't want to use this one. I want to use that one because that one has all the things in it. Okay. I was on the phone all day with these people trying to get this thing fixed, and then they sold me something, and then it made it work worse.
Google did, or
No, the people at AOL.
oh,
Come on, why can't I get the? I do this every morning. I want to go to GoDaddy, and I go here.
proxy server is like a VPN, a virtual private network.
Okay, okay, let me try this one here. Let me go to YouTube. Okay. Go to
Your proxy settings, go to tools, internet options, turn on LAN. So you're not on a LAN, I don't have a proxy server. You want me to get rid of that?
this says fix connection problem.
Well, yeah, but
It never works. Every time I've had anything on Windows, they fix it. You always get this. It looks like I was on Knight Rider, so it reminds me of the car. And then
yeah, he's in the back of the truck.
oh, it's so cool. I did 2 episodes, and
You're driving too fast.
man, and David Hasselhoff is like 6'7".
Yeah.
So when you get in the car, because I was like, can I get in the car? I get in the car, and you can't reach it. Proxy server is not responsive. Yeah, if you could fix that.
Yeah.
Dude,
Lots
man.
of extra chocolate bar.
It's like I'm like.
I keep my expenses down because you're not making any money yet.
Well, I asked my lawyer, and he said to me, I said, if we do sue, and he says if it's going to really be case, it's going to take it on a percentage basis.
Wow.
I said, if we do sue, how much do you think we'll get? Because if it's going to be 200,000 and I'm turning in 100 now, who needs that? And he said, I think we get like $2-3 million off it. I was like,
Yeah.
what? And I was like, if I had like $800,000, I could live my life and I could do this, start this business, because you know what? Podcasting is the future. Nobody I talk to who's 35 wants to listen to Clear Channel because at Clear Channel we have the weather and the traffic every 15 minutes. People who are 35 go, I don't want that. I just look it on my phone. And then I say, well, what about news? People record our morning shows and they listen to them at night. It's like with me with TV. I record all my shows and I watch them when I want. I never, because I'm different. I listen to radio. I like it to be live.
I make my own entertainment. Most people are doing that these days with Netflix, although that same stuff on there. I search my news out. I hardly watch TV. My new roommate, though, Ken, he likes to watch TV, so I started to get back into it. But we watch it off the air, with the antenna. We don't like cable. No offense.
The things I found on YouTube, they've done a Star Trek series on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh wow.
And that's why I got the Chrome thing. So I just click it on here and I go over there and I'm watching like a Star Trek episode that the fans make.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little acting sucks a little bit, but these fans are so dedicated, man. They built a set of the Enterprise. I mean, it looks exactly like the set.
I'm trying to find other settings. What's the settings? Because it's not doing its thing here. Let's see, Google Cast.
I don't know what it is, because sometimes.
Oh, here we go. It's right here. I'm sorry. Okay, settings. Let me do this for 1 second here. I can't multitask well. I'm sorry. Advanced settings. Where'd it go here? There should be one that says proxy, enable proxy, and we don't want proxy. Change proxy settings. Here we go. Google Chrome is using your computer system's proxy settings to connect to the. We don't want to do that. Let's see. What is it doing here? Connections. VPN, remember the internet. Number one, dial-up and virtual country. Why is it doing that? Sorry, my brain is just fried right now. Add VPN remove the internet.
You look so good on camera.
Oh,
The
who is that guy?
It works good. That black and yellow.
I just can't take the hat off, otherwise shows the stress that I've had for the last year. Woo!
Dude, when I was in Accra, I had to go get a toupee.
I've got one actually, yeah, but I don't use it very much. I don't know if I can afford another one, so I don't want to wear it
Oh,
out.
I know. Who knew how expensive? My agent says you got to get it because you have a bald spot on the back. You're not going to be able to play 23-year-olds anymore. And he sent me through the guy who's like, I do Frank Sinatra's toupees.
There is a lady, Kathy's Wigs, probably about 500 or less.
Really?
Yes, and she's older, but she's local. She's local business trying to survive. I'm a firm believer in local business. I go to Parties Camera. I make it a point to tell them, I come to you. I'm paying a little bit more, but you're local. You've been in business. You're a resource.
You can call a human being and say, have you ever tried to call Amazon?
Oh my God,
I
yeah.
went on Amazon one day, and a movie I directed that I owned called My Life as a Troll was for sale on Amazon.
Okay, I'm sorry. Oops, hey.
And I was like, why is it for sale on Amazon?
Yeah.
I own it, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get Amazon on the phone. I finally got
Yeah.
somebody, and they're like,
They
what
don't
do you
care.
mean you don't own it? I said, no, I own it. So they pulled it off, and I said, who put it on here? This guy
Yeah.
was being money. They gave me a phone number. I said, you just put this on. I can't sell nothing. This guy, and I called this guy, said, I don't know what you're talking about. But the guy bought a copy of my film, and
I'm wondering if I should delete this. I'm too fat to run, man.
what
If
is
I
that?
delete it, is it going to work? Well, it says internet properties, and then you have the internet, dial-up, and virtual private network settings. Hello, Kitty. I didn't do it. Never dial-up connect. Oh, God. Shall I do it? The internet. And how are you getting on the internet? Because all you're doing is accessing internet. Let's see. Are you doing this wirelessly?
This one, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, okay, remove. Actually, you want to delete this dial-up? Yes.
We don't want to die.
Oh my God. Okay. How did that get on there? Good. Okay. Yes. Okay. Is that door unlocked? Okay. Now you have to do this and then do this again. Let's see. Fingers crossed. Yes. No! What are you doing? There's no proxy server. What the blazes? Okay, settings, advanced settings, change proxy settings. LAN set and disconnect and deselect use proxy server for your LAN settings. Okay. Right. Okay. LAN settings. System browser settings. Where to go? Network. Change proxy settings. There it is. LAN settings. Use proxy server. There it is. So what happened to the internet one? Okay. Well, we don't really want to set up a connection because you don't really need to do that because you've got the wireless there, internet access. There. Okay. Do we need to save anything?
Hey,
No.
honey, are you hungry and this is why you're coming out? Because you usually don't come out. Yeah, I'm going to give you some food. I'll give you some food so you feel comfortable. Here, hon. Yeah. This is
There we go. You are on the air. Sort of.
it worked.
Yep, it worked. But of course, I've got to do something right.
Okay, now
Go to. Is that yours? Okay. I don't want.
I've
This.
got my mark for my fang here. One fang left.
Now I go to GoDaddy. Bloop, 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 bloop. and then I go.
I don't know how in the heck
7.
they got checked in the first place.
I-
Gremlins running around, or
It's like I've gotten so many challenges. The first thing was to get Skype so I can take live phone calls, and then I would go on YouTube and they tell us how we could hook up to do call outs because I can't do it on Skype, and I had to get an iPhone just for call outs. And when I'm in the store, she's like, "Well, do you care about it?" I said, "Listen, man, I'm going to use this phone maybe once a day, every other day. I just need to because my Androids you can't plug in like that and go onto there for some reason. There's something inside a iPhone. If I took my Android phone and dialed somebody, and then I wanted to hook it up through this and talk to them on the air, it won't work. But if you use an iPhone instead of an Android, it works.
there's an app for that.
There is an app to make an Android work, but this costs $33, and the app costs 600 and something. So I was like, okay, now where do we go? Then I go here every day. That's my website. Everyone says it's ugly. I think it's beautiful.
Dominique, if you need help in the future, just call me. It's fun to help. I do need gas money from time to time, though, because I'm starving right now. I got out of the hospital a month ago. I had a heart problem. So, not to play the violin too much, but I'm playing catch up. That's why I'm answering gigs. I don't usually answer gigs that much.
The first time I'm working Clear Channel, making income, then I get fired and my car breaks down.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
But here's what's interesting. A friend of mine, man, why isn't this? I cut and paste isn't working. Okay, let me go back to this and play it again. The funny thing is, the guy, one of my friends, he calls me up and says, "How much is it going to cost?" I said, "I think it's like $2,000. I don't want to do it." He goes, "I know a guy who owns a company. Come bring the car over." So I go over to his house, and he says, "Well, the guy will look at it for 5 days and I'm like, "Okay." And then he says to me, "Here, take my car." I said, "Joe, what?" He says, "I have 5 cars. I'm a doctor." And that white minivan out there, that's his car. I've had it now for 2 weeks. And I called him up there and I said, "Dude, this is 2 weeks. I feel bad." He goes, "Dominic, I understand. I said, "I don't have any family." He goes, "Dominic, you have family." And I was like, I went to his birthday party and everyone told me I shouldn't hang out with him because the way we met, he called up Armstrong and Getty, and we started talking. And he says, "So you're Italian? I'm Italian." I'm like, "Oh, cool." So he's like, "We should go out and have some coffee." And I said, "What the hell? I don't know. I just moved here from New York 2 years ago." So I went and and he's a doctor, and he goes, "How you feel?" I go, "Good." I go, he goes, "My back hurts." He goes, "Do you have handicap plates?" And I said, "I used to because my back, I can't really." He goes, "I'll give you handicap plates." So he gave me handicap plates. I was like, wow. And he's been like, now, to be honest, his granddaughter called me today. His granddaughter was working local here on television, and she's 19 and she went to Hollywood to become an actress.
Classic story.
And today I spent 2 hours with her. All the little things that no one teaches you. And then she's like, "Well, I should go to an acting class." I said, "Listen to this, Brooke. If you went to a college and you took acting classes, and I did that for a bit, these professors never acted. When I went to my first, I had already had it. I
Those
worked
who
there.
can't do.
Yeah, I worked there, and they were telling the class one thing because I was in equity,
Yeah.
and I was like, "That's the union for the Broadway."
Okay.
And so I said, "Go to Hollywood, and while you're there, I said, take classes there, and you're gonna find out to make connections." Today I spent 2 hours with her. All the little things that no one teaches you, and then she's like, "Well, I should go to an acting class." I said, "Listen, here's the best part. Ready? Here's the best."
Oh, wow. Look at that. Wow.
Come on, baby.
There it is.
Come on, baby.
Wow. Don't touch that dial.
So now,
Wow.
let's just check. I wanted to check to see what the sound is here. This doesn't matter because this is the big screen and this is the connection here. It doesn't matter. So if we get stuck here, I know it isn't going to be stuck in other places. But what's the sound? Down. when this gets stuck, I usually just put it over
You
here.
know, it's buffering or something.
It only takes, yeah, and this is like, this is nothing to do with the way other people are seeing it. See?
There's a good.
Sit over here or say something. It's about a minute delay.
Wow.
Look, the set looks pretty good there. Look, the set looks good there. This is a nice thing about not having a wife. Your wife, you said, "Oh, listen, I'm making a set. What the hell are you doing in my kitchen?"
Dominique on the air.
Dude, but if you're gonna do something, you gotta do something to do with, see, it's a little bit other people are seeing it. See? Here we go, here you come.
Beautiful. Wow.
Sit over here, say something.
Wow.
There you are.
Wow. That's great.
That looks good, right? You fit right in.
Oh, my tooth. Oh, jeez.
I know, I have the same thing. Your wife, you said, "Oh, listen, I'm making a set. What the hell are you doing in my kitchen?" Oh my God, everything's working.
I gotta keep my mouth closed. There we go. Wow. Beautiful. If you need help,
Yes.
I'm living out in the Alberta area too.
See, I'm giving it to you because I don't know where Alberta is. People say, "Why don't you? We gotta come. Hey, come see me. Where are you?" I didn't know it was like an hour away.
No. I'm about 18 minutes away, a little bit north of here. I frequent the area though. I go to Fulton and Marconi to that. It's the Russian center there. They're kind of I'm networking with them. Yeah, it's great. And I have a Russian that helped me with my car too. It broke down. Because I can't do a lot of things I used to do and save my bacon. We had to take what's called the plenum off the top. It's part of the fuel injection system and had to clean out an EGR port. And that would have cost me $500-600. What was it? Just it's $40. They charged me for labor. Just, oh my God! And so I got my spare car running because the other, my Xterra, is down. It's got a knock sensor that's down, but it's buried in the innards of the engine. Oh my God! This one. I'm taking one day at a time. I woke up today. I woke up breathing because some days I have trouble breathing when I wake up, and I take a lot of heart meds and stuff. And I woke up breathing. I've got a roof over my head. I've got blessing the curse. but if they're interesting at least. One's a photographer. I'm a photographer. One's a cameraman. That's a ham operator. I haven't been on ham for ages, and I got the wires up. So you got to count the blessings.
We do, and we don't think of that. Right now, I have my health, thank God.
Yeah.
You know, the car's broken, but I have a great friend who's given me his car to use.
Things come around because I've sensed that you've done a lot of good, so things are coming back.
And some of the people who I thought were my friends worked for Armstrong Gate for 2 years, had them over to the house, do their presents, have not talked to me since that time. And I don't know if they blame me, and I can't figure out why. They warned me if I quit doing the radio show that he would fire me, and I asked him, "Fire me if I quit doing the show?" No, of course not. He did later, he's like, and then my lawyer said, "Have they fired any other producers?" My friend is a producer there. You know what they do to him? They didn't like his work. So they give you a 30 days to improve, and then they sit down with a meeting. Armstrong Gate said nothing but positive about my work. So my lawyer's like, "Well, why didn't he do to you what he does to the other producers? Why is he treating you
Why did I
different?"
single you out?
Well, the only difference between me and the other producers is I walked in and said, "I'm not doing the show for free," and defied him. In this guy's mind.
Yeah.
In this guy's mind, because he's a bully.
Yeah.
He says, "I'm a good Clear Channel executive." He thinks he's slumming to come down to Sacramento. Well, look,
Everything.
thank you very much. I get up to 5 to do shows. These are commercials and going through. It looks pretty cool.
That's working.
And I went through it.
Oh, yeah. But if you, customer support, and I count you as my friend.
Okay.
My real name is Ron. And I'm low-key, I'm a technician type, photographer, and
What I gotta do is I gotta put your number for your,
I'm fairly reliable. I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, I drink a glass of red wine once in a while.
that's one of the things I told some of the actors. I said, "You know what? We're so happy when we get an actor who doesn't do drugs."
I'm just trying to provide. I will set aside, if you have an emergency, I will set aside what I am doing.
Yes, that's your number.
Yes. And, if you want, I will have my friend come by or call you. And, and it's all about networking, and it's interesting. You didn't know about a $500 eBay before it came up.
Richard, one of the nice things about working in work, one of the nice things about radio is I don't have to worry about that. It's what contact images.
Oh, God.
And I was 37 years old, still playing 17 high school students because I looked like I was a baby. And it just started to change. I still can't believe I look at myself and go, what the hell happened? I'm old now.
And I see this whole thing as a blessing because you've got content and you're breaking free of this corporate machine and you're doing your thing and you're doing it on your own.
I was complaining because I was complaining about we run it on advertisers and we're only charging $5 a spot right now for the starting and subscriptions and it's 23 cents a day. And started out and now we're up to $800 a month on subscriptions and advertising rate of 100 or so. And what the channel did? I had this guy, Raleigh Networks, good guy. He said, I love you on the show you did for free. I love you on this. I want to sponsor your show. So $500 sponsorship a month. So that would have been 800 for 5.
Starts adding up.
And we did coming back, brought to you by Raleigh, and he was so happy. 2 days after I got fired from Bridger, he said, called me up, emailed me, Buckley, said, Clear Channel executives, we do millions of dollars worth of business. They said, they don't really want an advertising on that.
I don't need to be noticed. Do you have anybody getting advertising spots for you and calling people? I'm good at calling on the phone. That's what I do. I'm a salesperson. I have a good face. I'm reasonably intelligent.
Yeah.
And I talk to people. I try not to tell my real name, but yeah, RJ. But I would love to help, and I would love to do it for free or minimal or something, gas money if I'm in the area, as long as I can do my other shit. If you think about it, if there's something I can do, let's network, and because I'm radio and I work for High Measure Ministry, because I hope George Otis, who's one of the executives of your jet, branched off and created this radio network, Citizens National. He was one of the first people from the United States to put in some media in Israel too. He started out as a kid at a station, I don't know, Israeli, Lebanon.
I feel like I'm Ted Turner saying, I got this UHF station that's worth $200,000. This is cable. I'm going to put TBS on there. It's going to, I feel like I'm sitting around going, dude, radio is cool. It'll always be there. Like antenna TV is there. It'll be there, but everyone's going to start focusing on podcasts. And I'm like yelling at people. I'm like trying to get, I'm meeting with, there's an entrepreneur club I'm trying to go. I'm going to pitch them the idea. Eventually I want to do a 3-hour show every day. I want to hire people. I want to do it like kind of a block. You know what?
The Russian Center's cheap space too. It's like $200 a month.
See that movie, when we started at that movie, Stephen Bell, they said you can't make it. That movie got picked up for United Artists and opened if I didn't take care of my mom and dad with they had Alzheimer's, man, I went through nearly $1 million to take care of them. Am I happy? Yes, because I took care of them. But would I get a better situation? But I'm not looking.
But you've done your good. You're alive. You've got great ideas. You're sitting on.
Do you know where Griffin is?
Oh yeah.
Now, read some of the names.
I put a satellite dish up in the backyard in Beverly Hills.
I've been.
Back in the 80s.
Read the starring Stephen Bayer. What's the next one?
Probably.
Stephen Bayer.
Wow.
Merv's only son, Tony,
Yeah.
was one of my best friends.
Yeah.
When he invited me over to the house, he said, "You have to promise you never say anything you see here out." To the fire, I said, "No." Ava Gabor was there. Tony's wedding. His father owned the Beverly Hilton. He's having it at the Beverly Hilton. I come in, and there's all people around. You know who was at that wedding? Besides Clint Eastwood and all these big stars, Ronald Reagan was there. Ronald Reagan, Merv and Ronald are great friends. And he's sitting up there and says, "Look, when I first got unemployed, when I first got fired, Tony was like, very important, and he sent me $5,000. And I said, no, Tony, I don't want money. What I want is, but you know any radio stations I want to work? And he said, no, we just started talking again. And I interrupted for time because I felt like a loser. And he's like, Dominic, don't think about money with me. We're friends.
Yeah.
And Tony's daughter is like 19 and just did a video that flew to Ireland to do it. And you know, his dad created Wheel of Fortune in one of those shows. Tony, I put Tony in that movie. And Tony's like, my agents, we were all excited opening United Artists. That's but we shot it in 7 days. We did it for like $100,000, and it opened in theaters for United Artists. And Tony was in it. Tony's new agent said, don't ever show anybody that movie. You'll never work again.
Wow.
Merv was such a nice guy. Merv was always like, I was like, and then my parents would come to visit me in Hollywood, and Tony said, this is what a guy needs. Why don't you bring him to the Merv show? The last season. I said, bring him to the Merv show? So we get there, there's a big line, and we just go right to the front, go to the line, we sit there. Third, Tony's sitting with us, we're in the third row. Merv Griffin! And then, wow, my parents were excited. I think this is the truth, you know?
Yeah.
No, it's more. Merv comes out and says, oh, hello, Petra. Ooh, I see someone in our audience.
Wow.
I'm afraid of him because he was in Friday the 13th. What movie were you in? Friday the 13th. I went, 5, Merv. There's a picture of you dead in Friday the 13th over there. And he was like, that's a scary movie. And he goes, who's that really good-looking guy sitting next to you? I go, that's Tony Griffin, your son. And he goes, who's that? That's my mom and dad and all this. So my parents are like,
Wow, you really set it up.
Tony sent me the videotape, but after the show ends, Tony goes, my father wants to compete with my father backstage. We go backstage, I love it. My father, I love him. Like, you know, Maeve, it's Russia, not Russia, it's Russia.
Oh,
And I'm like, Dad, please shut up. So what's Ava Gabor like? I said, oh, yeah, she's wonderful. And Merv was like, to do all that, you know, to do that. And when Tony told me he was going to meet his dad, I said, I gotta be honest with you, I'm nervous as hell because I know you have this whole thing of trust. You can't sell any stories. I mean, you have to do that. And I met his dad, just the nicest guy in the world. He was a little really oddities, but just always nice to me. And Merv had a weight problem all his life. And I was 100 pounds heavier because I always played the fat guy. And organized, and then we had a Super Bowl party. I hate Super Bowl. I mean, but Merv was having a Super Bowl party, we go. So we're all there, and Merv, everyone's watching the Super Bowl. Me and Merv at the table looking at the shrimp. Oh, Merv, look, we're doing, me and him are eating the shrimp.
You bonded.
Merv died, and Tony $1 billion. And Tony's. If we went out somewhere, and somebody looked at me funny, 6'2" Irish, and he put him against the wall. Tony, please. We went to the Improv. And Bud Friedman's there who runs that. And Bud Friedman always, people go from there, they go to the Griffin show, they go to the Carson show, they go wherever. So Merv recognizes Tony. Hey, Bud, look. So we're sitting in the audience. All the comics come up. One comic comes up and says, ooh, so Merv Griffin. You hear about Merv Griffin? Oh, yeah. What's he do? Boy, he's a nice guy. Said Merv Griffin. So Tom's like, oh. So it ends. He walks right to Bud and Bud, his comics get on the Griffin show. Griffin, Carson and Merv were good friends. People don't know that. Yeah. So yeah, they were good friends. And so
Downier's from the same hometown as my dad, Red Oak, Iowa.
he said, nice guy. I never met him. So Tony says, I want to go talk to that comedian. So Bud Friedman says, okay, it's right down here.
Wow.
He takes the comedian, Tony, and I don't agree with this. Tony took him and put him against the wall. He was like, I'll never do it. I had no idea. And he goes, you'll never do the Tonight Show. You'll never. And Tony was like, I was amazed because Tony talked like I couldn't believe Tony would say some of these things. Because all of a sudden I realized that Tony, he was hanging with us, and he was a regular guy. But when he knew he had a certain amount of power. When he said to the guy, you'll never work on Carson. You'll never work on Griffin. I knew he was serious, and Tony would have done it. Tony would have called the agent, and you know how it is in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And the guy said,
What you know too, you know.
and the guy apologized. And I felt for him because I mean, like, when you talk about actors, because you don't really know them, they're not real. But when I was living in Hollywood, I had to be careful from talking about somebody else and I turn around and it's John Travolta's nephew or it's
Sensitivities.
yeah, you gotta be, it's like so. For some reason in our lives, we think it's okay to make fun of stars because they're stars. But when you live in Hollywood, it's like, and I go to, oh yeah, I hate that Roseanne Barr. She's my third wife. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, I'm gonna listen tomorrow from 9 to 11.
I feel that. Go to DominicOnTheAir.com and there's a click. It's on my card.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And there's a click to hear it live streaming on the radio. And there's another one to watch it on TV. So you can check them both out.
You have sponsors.
I do. I don't have the big $500 one, but I've got like, lady has a weird gift shop. It's on the internet. And she bought an ad for $5. And then she called back and said, 2 people bought stuff from you. So people listening to this thing. I said, we had like, the first 3 weeks we had 52,000 hits. Now we're averaging about 32. The guy in New York said, if you can reach 100,000, this is when major advertising will come to you. So I'm like, oh, well, 32, whatever. Because it's 2 months. I said, yeah. He goes, you people are sponsoring this show. You're making like $800 a month on that, and you're making your letters like $30 on commercials a day. I said, yeah. He goes, just shut up and do a business instead of you're gonna be like, I work in more than I ever worked. So then I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's 8 o'clock now. I'm heading to bed soon. I get up in the morning and with the internet, I get all my, just like Armstrong and Getty. Armstrong and Getty would arrive at the studio, and people didn't believe me until they actually sat there. At 6:03, Jack Armstrong would come to the studio. He had a con. Listening, when I had to pitch him stories, he'd be on the phone. As he's driving there, and I'm saying, you want to get this senator on? You want to get this? And he had the nerve to scream, going, I hate these choices. I said, if you get here at 2 o'clock in the morning like I do, you can have these choices. Then I printed up 36 stories. Music would play, Jack would run into the studio. We had a 2-minute opening. We'd say, good morning. How you doing? Let's go around the room. How you doing, Dominic? We always had something funny to say. How you doing, Marshall? How you doing, Patches? How are you doing? Take our first break. Take our first break. He picks up the 36 stories I gave him and starts reading them. We come back and he complained about some of the stories I was pulling because he didn't like them. And I said, well, listen, you have a great lifestyle. You do it early in the morning, you do it in 10 minutes before I got here. You set it up so you get up at 5 a.m. and you get here. I wake up and my other producer, we get up, he gets here at 1:30 and I get here at 2 or 2:30. If you get here at 3, because he was complaining that KFBK right next door to us, Rush Limbaugh, well, how come they have this gift? How come? Well, because they're all here. And the producers have a thing where they can book a guest and have a host about it. I said, give me that, where I can say to you, you're going to have Casey McFarlane on from Fox News. She's going to talk about the war in Syria. She's so Republican. I booked her already, so they don't. And I actually said to them, if you want the lifestyle you have, you like it. There's some sacrifices you have to make. Like, you have to drive in your car, and we have to have the phone conversations in the car. And I'm there like, and I take all the information and I pound it down to like 9 things. So if you were him, you're like a half hour from the studio, I did. Okay, listen, here's what's going on. CBS, we got a reporter in Syria. What's the reporter? Jack Jones. And we've got a thing. What do you think about that? And I'm like, okay, I got this, I got that. Okay, and then as he's saying yes, as the show is playing, I'm calling CBS and Fox. We got a lot of Fox people on. They really wanted George Will on, and other guy. He's critical. So, and we got it. It took me like 8 months to get him, but they're really cheap. You know, they make almost $1 million a year. They've been doing it so long. So what I do is, if I'm dealing with a guy at Fox or a little bit Fox, she's doing me favors. I send her flowers. They remember that. So they're like, Dominic, what do you do? And I said, go down the door. I said, flowers. They're like, who's paying for that? I go, it'd be nice if I had a budget. You guys give me money, but right now I'm paying for it. He goes, oh, don't worry about that. We'll talk about that. 2 years, they never talked about that. But I still, it made my job easier. If I became, the lady at Fox, I really like people. So it's like, we talk.
You make the contacts. Those are very valuable. So now that you're doing your own shtick, I mean, my God, you can start.
2 years, I was producing for a guy named Alan Combs, the first producer job in New York. Hannity Combs. Combs is a liberal. Liberal talk goes to work. But he was good friends with the Clintons. I've been working with the Clintons and Clintons and Clintons and Clintons. A book comes out. It ain't doing so good. I get a call from my connection with the Clintons, Hillary Clinton, who says, we're thinking about doing some radio shows. If Hillary agrees to come on Armstrong and Getty, will you have her again next year? If she wants for president, will you have her on? If she wants, you may not want. So I'm like, she wants to do it. And then I said to her, I haven't worked on Armstrong and Getty for 2 weeks. They fired me 2 weeks ago. I said, how would you like to come on Dominic on the air? And she said, what is that? I said, it's a podcast. She said, no, you won't do a podcast. Okay? I was like, 2 years. And I was tempted. And honestly, if they would have called, because usually when people get fired in radio, you have like the last break and you go out with them. They would have called me. Even, how are you? What's going on?
What's the name? No, you're saying it's a podcast. That sounds very, excuse me, to me, when you mention that, it sounds, it's, me, I'm thinking, they offer a podcast, it's like an adjunct to their main broadcast. Why don't you say, well, we've got this multi-streaming operation of some sort, you know, how should
Even when I have people on Armstrong and Getty, some of these people are so sophisticated, they say, what are your ratings? Now, when I got there, Armstrong and Getty was 7, now they're #1 here, and #1 there, and San Francisco, they're still #6. That's because of the signal. So they will ask, hey, what do you think advertising comes? When they buy locally, like they buy from advertisers, you just call up and go, okay, I want to buy in San Francisco. Who are the top 5 shows? 5. They don't care if it's country. They don't care if it's rock. They don't care if it's pop. Okay, I want to buy in San Diego. Give me the top 5 morning shows. And Warner's Armstrong Getty. Okay, put the car company on there.
But right now, your outlet right now is YouTube.
No, it's YouTube and the streaming and the podcast.
So the streaming, I mean, you can go to a lot of different sources. You go streaming, like for instance, the church that I was working at just before I went to this one, here we were streaming to Justin's. That's one outlet. It's very small. But
There's a station in Alabama who said to me, we want to take your, I said, go to Mixler, see if you can take the show from Mixler. And so we're talking to them, no money, just to grow. And
so the outlets from the streaming.
everything's happening. Everything's happening. That's why when the computer broke today, I was like, oh my God!
So it's bugging right now.
It's starting. I can't get the Hillary Clintons yet. Because you can't, because they look at, it was hard to get them on Armstrong and Getty, and I couldn't get them on. The only reason they considered Armstrong was we're #1 in San Diego and Sacramento.
You're going to need this infrastructure. You can practice so much by yourself.
I know. Right now, I have every single day, I have a different co-host. And I came up with this idea, because I do radio better when it's 2 people. I can do the Rush Limbaugh thing, but the show that beat Rush Limbaugh was me and Vince on in 5 in Parliament. So I put a thing out, if you'd like to be a co-host, I can be like 15 people. And I've got this guy on Friday, and he's He's a nice guy, he's a Christian guy, who's doing podcasting, he's really funny. I got this guy tomorrow, and he's an atheist, but he's like a photographer, like, dude, how you doing? A little weird. And then on Wednesday, I got Gina, and she's sweet.
But I'm saying for administration, though, do you have anybody that can call sponsors and help you so you can focus on being creative?
Yeah. What would be nice if I had someone not only calling sponsors, but calling syndicators and calling stations. I talked to this guy in the foothills. My friend
Can
worked
I
in
volunteer?
we should talk. We should go out and talk. My friend worked in the foothills, little station. And I said, if I could have that base, that little station there, I can keep all the podcasts. It's really cheap. I just need a little bit of money. So he's like, okay, I'll call the general manager. So I wrote the general manager an email. He said, Dominic, the guy knows who you are. I said, he does? He goes, yeah, he loved the after show, he listened to that. He loved doing Armstrong and Getty, he knows who you are. I said, this is great, so we've been giving a morning show like Armstrong and Getty, it's gonna be great. And he goes, no, you're too edgy. I said, too edgy?
What does that mean?
Because his audience is mainly old people.
Yeah.
I said, you know how many old people listen to Armstrong and Getty? He's like, no, he loves you, but he doesn't want to take the chance.
All right, you mind if I borrow a chair to put my foot up? I need to, it swells up. I have a DVT that I had about 20 years ago.
Do you at least have handicap plates? Yeah.
I'm certified. I am handicapped, but I choose to stay busy because life is so much.
I know.
So, wow, this is fantastic. You're ready to jump off.
My guy from New York, who was the guy who gave me my first job in radio, and I was trying to explain this to Vince, who were best friends at Fisher. This guy gave me my first job, and he got fired. And they don't want you to see friends before fired. So I didn't talk about it. We stayed friends. Then he got a job in New York, and he said, I can get you a job from Houston. Then he left New York, went to Denver, called me up and hired me in Denver. He came out here in Sacramento. I was out of work for 2 years. I was the bottom of the barrel, no money, everything. And my cousin keeps saying, you should try podcasting. He goes, people listening in all these cities, they're just going to find out where you are. He calls me out here. He hires me to be producing on the Getty Show. And now, after 6 months, they fired him. The real reason they fired him is he's a really nice guy. He has a son. He's also gay. He can't help it. He can't hide it. It's a little family. But he works his ass off. And the new management took over in Sacramento, and Alan's been there for 8 years. And I started hearing things from the guy who's the new owner, the new general manager. I was saying stuff like, you just have a stronger program. He just doesn't have like 8 years he's kept the station going. He doesn't have a news director. He's running the news department too. He works 24/7. And the new guy said, you need a strong guy.
A non-gay guy, basically.
And I was like, and I knew it.
Guy working his ass off for him,
And I was like, Alan, why did you have to tell him? Like, okay, in Denver, he didn't tell anybody he was gay. It was a big snowstorm. So the station said, okay, listen, we got a hotel right next to the station. Everybody come in. We'll put you up in the hotel so they can go right next door and broadcast on the air. That's great. So I'm excited. I'm going to the hotel. And it's like fun. What a great job I have. We're in a hotel. There's a snowstorm coming. It was the day we invaded Iraq also. So, we're a news station, news talk, and we're mostly local. Alan comes. I love him. Alan's about 340 pounds. He comes walking in. He's got a leash. He's got this cooler. He goes, listen, this is my baby. Here's Fluffy. He's Fluffy. And they're all looking like, uh-oh. Dude, this is Fluffy, it has this like this.
Yeah.
I don't know, I kept asking, I asked my priest, God, why did God give people lists? I mean, it's horrible. But,
This is spice of life, the flavor of life. You have to have the artistic types. My mother always worried about me because I'm artistic, she's artistic, but she didn't want me to turn gay or anything like that. But I accept everybody the way they are. And sometimes I make fun, but I try not to.
well, I make fun of everybody. And, let me just ask you one more question. How do I forgot, I wanna make sure I remember, how did we turn this on again?
I want to write it down. So,
RJ.
okay,
help.
so what I did is, I went to, we went to this. This is okay. I know how to turn this on. The Google Hangouts. How did we find that?
Why don't we turn everything off and then